Welcome everyone, here we are again on the Manga Path. We're nearing the end of the second week since we launched the channel. Real quickly, I want to say thank you to all the early support that I've had. It's been a fantastic motivation going forward. With that, we can get to the purpose of the video. I figured since I just finished the 10th page study, it would be a perfect time for another self-review. Here I'll go over what I've learned and what has worked and what has not. We'll skip past these ones real quick since they were covered in the first video. And here we are. With My Hero Academia. This one was really fun, but there was some few obvious mistakes. I feel like Midoriya here turned out a little bit more like a Ninja Turtle. Here, I really wish I could have got his full face in and the open mouth. I feel like it would have, expressed his what a lot more towards what was happening with All Might. Obviously, I put my hand right here. That seems to happen occasionally. Gotta work on that a little bit. But the rest of it wasn't so bad. And overall, I really enjoyed it. I loved the way the smoke turned out, learning the different marks needed to make different techniques work. And with that, we can move on to the next one. Gachiakuta. This one I also had a lot of fun with. I had a lot of fun doing them all. That's what's honestly most important here, is having fun. We're learning our muscle memory on our hand, so it doesn't really matter what we're doing to an extent, as long as we're getting the pen to paper and we're starting to force our hand to make the shapes we want to. Instead of a circle, we can actually make an eye, or instead of a wavy oval, we can make a circle. Back to the Gachiakuta. I am having trouble with the smaller details, but as you see, I'm able to do better as it gets larger, and I'll get better with the smaller ones as I get used to working in such detail. I really wish here I would have made the head a little bit more round like it was in the picture. I wish the teddy bear was a little bit more rounded as well and a little bit more 3D looking like it was in the page. But I did like how all this turned out. A few mistakes here, a little notch there. I wish I could have made a straighter line, but hey, I think it turned out really well. Enjoyed doing it. And on to the next. This one caused me some trouble. This one was probably one of the more intimidating ones out of them all so far. Just all the little interactions between the people and how you gotta map it out with the hands and how it's interacting with the arm. Didn't quite get the face right here. I didn't get it right down here either. It was a little too exaggerated. A little bit too skinny here. This one didn't turn out too bad, but I could have done a little bit cleaner job with the hands. I forgot the nom here, so you just blank speech bubble there. Was starting to work on here how to mimic the screen tones with brushes, and it kind of failed here a lot. I'm still getting used to using the brushes. Here I could have connected everything a bit more. Up here I could have connected it up here a bit more and flared it off. Here I started to figure out a little bit on what I wanted to do and matched it a little bit more. I took a drier brush and brushed it across, and it created those inconsistent lines, which kind of helped with what the screen tone was doing. Down here, blotching it didn't quite work. I'm going to have to be a little bit more smoother on that, maybe gradient it out a little bit more. But I really liked how Anchi turned out here. Did not like how his face turned out here. I could, again, but a small detail. I need to work on that. I need to vary my lines even more on smaller details. But let's go on to the next. This one was fun doing. Sakamoto Days. This one, I really had my first experience with all this motion. And it was fun doing. I really love the type of picture that it shows. It was a little intimidating at first just because of all the lines, all the darker lines here and lighter lines, all the contrasting, where to go from solid to motion. But it was fun. It was real simple drawing this guy. I do really wish I could have made it a little bit more similar. It kind of looks like two different guys. But hey, we're just starting out. This one, I like doing this one. This one, I felt really accomplished after I finished it, and then I felt really mad that I had put my hand here at the very end. But hey, it happens. You move on, and we'll do better next time. But all this little detail, I had to look really closely at the picture and do my best to copy it and then fill in what I could while keeping what was supposed to be kept. And the teeth, I'm having trouble with teeth all around, getting sharper points, making them look a little bit more 3D, like they actually have shape instead of just a simple triangle. Here again, we worked with trying to mimic screen tones. I kind of liked how these ones turned out. I think they need to be done a little bit more cleanly. In the picture, they were just X'd squares, so really we just did X lines, and I think it turned out well enough. We do need to work on, like I said, consistency, making the width between the lines a little bit more consistent when we want them to be. Here, I was not quite as well with the brush. I'm still learning with the brushes, getting more accurate with the brushes, but all we can do is keep practicing and build that muscle memory in our hand. Kaiju number 8. A lot of people's favorite recently. It was in my opinion, fairly simple picture because of the straight lines. It's all just simple lines that we were able to follow, but getting the sizing right is still kind of an issue. Almost got the mask right. There's a few little details off, but we're missing a lot of the shoulder here and a little bit of the pec, because I zoomed in a little bit as I was drawing and we had compensated so it didn't look silly. But again, we do what we have to, and I think it turned out really great. One major thing is I'm still working with the brushes, with the gradients. For example, here I was just trying to gradient all down as it was drying, and I probably should have made right here a little bit lighter or darker and over here a little bit lighter given the highlights and the contrast. But we'll do better next time, as always. This is a learning process, and as we'll say Naruto said, there are no shortcuts. I'll be continuing to do these page studies and self-reviews after I feel I have learned enough to pass on what has worked. I will be making some follow-along videos that hopefully people will enjoy, and with that about covers everything. I appreciate everyone's continued support, and I'm off to draw the next one.